My name is Sarath. As I was introduced, I started my journey as a Java developer, then cloud, and of course AI. It can never leave us. That's about me. So what I'm going to teach you all today, I'm not going to teach. I'm just going to introduce you some deeper thoughts to you before you leave from session. You all have been hearing of AI for a long time, right? And when I started my journey in 2013, I was very much attracted to see how AI is something it is doing wonders. When my manager also came to me, we had to find how many names have the spellings. The names could be the same, but how can you manually find? You have a database of, say, millions of records, but I want to ensure that those names could belong to the same individual. How do I find it? I thought, how can we even do that without looking manually? Probably can use some Excel sheet to write some, whatever that, querying the Excel sheet with some VB script, probably, not beyond that. Then when I had the opportunity to learn AI, this is where I wondered what AI can do, what NLP can do, right? We are all aware of that. And today my session is going to be, can we all use AI today without knowing much about AI today? Even though you're not an expert in AI, can you all use AI today? That's what I'm going to talk about. How can I leverage AI as a service to build my enterprise application? To make it part of my enterprise application, probably I would rather say that. Okay, that's what the session is all going to be. Please look at this particular diagram where I have the AIaaS is a bridge. Sorry for my imaginary, the bridge, it's a bridge actually, where you have a software developer here, there is an ML, and AIaaS can be a bridge. That's all the whole session is going to be. What my primary intent here is, when people came to me, when I was learning AI, and even today, many people, software developers come to me to learn AI. I want to become a generative AI developer today. That's a common question that will be running in most of our minds, right? Can we all become, what if everyone becomes generative AI developer? Who is going to build enterprise applications? How many applications are there? There are tons of applications, and if you go to many organizations, they will have some people working on AI, but % of the works are your e-commerce application, supply chain management. Do you all agree with that? Right? No, actually, that's a reality. I'm going to talk about the real picture. That is what actually organizations need today. So in that process, where their attraction is towards the AI, generative AI, does it mean that we should stop thinking about AI, or does it mean that we need to learn only AI? I'm going to answer that question to you in this particular session. Okay, that's the whole essence of the session. This agenda, don't worry about it. What are we as individuals, as human beings? What are we all supposed to do? We are very different in this universe, right? We are very different species when compared to all other species in this on Earth, for example. We are meant to be creative. We are meant to work to do the leadership activities. We are meant to do the collaborative effort. Do you all agree with that? That's what we are meant for. Not to do any repetitive tasks, trust me on that. The only repetitive tasks are going to be maybe get up and do the brushing, bathing, and etc. The food, probably some exercise based on your patience and energy and discipline. That's all. Why do all we need to do any other repetitive tasks today? That is where AI is helping us today to take care of the repetitive complex tasks today. So I'm coming from the human uniqueness, unique capabilities, so that can we leverage AI today to make it work for us? Let it give insights to us. Let us take right decisions for us. And also I'm going to talk about how do we do that while we are doing our creative job all the time. Not building all algorithms, models that we want to do That's one thing, right? There are people who are working focusedly on that, right? Who are building a lot of great algorithms, improving the models, improving the accuracy of the models today. So if you see today, as you see the image there, right? The software developer, let's assume a software developer having her or his ideas, giving instructions to the AI, let AI do the job, what it is supposed to do, get the returns back from from the AI and continue working on it. Imagine a simple recommendation system today. I'll shift to that, probably a good use case. This probably should help all of us to think. A person named Steve, an energetic software developer today. Okay, he likes to learn a lot of things. His job is to build an e-commerce portal platform so that people can buy and sell products. Mostly whatever they do, whatever the product, like the way Amazon we have. He was so excited that he's building such a great system. The next thing is, his manager comes to me, hey Steve, we need to build recommendation systems here. Without the recommendation systems, we'll not be able to make it successful. Steve is so quite excited, very, very excited. Then he will start learning, going through all the AI books, all the material, videos. He will understand probability, neural networks, deep learning, time series analysis, a lot of things he will do it. I'm able to relate to this, my journey, because I have done the same thing. I bought a book of 5,000 rupees worth book and some 11 years back, where I tried to learn, churned it a lot to understand the statistics jargon, honestly. It was not so easy. I had to shift my complete focus on that. See, but being an enterprise developer, learning the AI to the depth is quite challenging. All right? It's not so easy. But does it mean that we have to get into the AI only, or we should not include AI in our journey? That is very important, right? If Steve has this problem, what happened to Steve was, after all his study, 3 months of study on the AI, his final recommended system looked like a toddler doing a painting with the fingers, how it looks, right? Very clumsy and everything. It just will be creative. And he was so upset with that situation. Despite his efforts, he was not successful to build the right recommendation system. So where is the gap here? He is forcefully shifting his focus, what he was supposed to do, into something where he has to spend even years and years to do a lot of research, writing algorithms, a lot of AI models or whatever he wants to do, test it, validate it, get the sampling done, get the population, a lot of other aspects are there involved this. It's not so easy to adopt AI, correct? If someone wants to build their own, there are people dedicated for AI today. Now, Steve will learn, after his failure, he will come to know that there is something called AIaaS. Can we use AI as a service? Can I include AI? Can I include the recommendation system built on AI into his Java code, for example? It could be whatever the language, I'm not worried, into his code. So when user searches for some user, he is searching for certain products, based on what he is searching for, can he get the dynamic recommendations? For that recommendations, he is dynamically calling through his code the recommendation engine, which is built by someone, but the way he is calling it is through just an API in his code. He is not doing anything. The results were very positive. The reason is that particular API, the AI API, the recommendation engine API, is well proved. He doesn't need to spend all his energy to understand intricacies of how internally AI works. He needs to be aware. Nothing, I'm not saying that, but he is able to make use of it. Are we not productive? So Steve can spend time on some other things. He can build to improve his e-commerce platform, probably getting more of not only recommendation system, a lot of monitoring in place, a lot of observability, a lot of other ML ops, AI ops, whatever you want to say there. His focus he's shifted, but he's still making the best of the AI today. My objective to say here today is, many of the software developers today, the reason I particularly have chosen this particular topic today is, many of us have this confusion today. You have to learn AI, now generative AI. Do I need to master generative AI, get the PhD, get the doctorate in that? Yes, if you are truly looking to only focus only on that area. But that should not, you don't need to be a doctorate to start making the best of the generative AI today, whatever the work you are doing. That's exactly my whole discussion is going to be. Then what is, any questions so far? Sure. What is AIaaS, first of all? This is a theoretical definition. Revolutionizes the accessibility of AI capabilities by providing the pre-trained models tools via cloud platforms. What AIaaS does actually is, it helps any person, any software or any business, need not be a software developer, but in general, I'm saying any small organization, small to big organizations, to take the best of the AI capabilities today, like the pre-trained models or the tools that are available in the industry, which are hosted on a huge, most of the cases in a cloud platforms. Still, you are able to leverage. That is what AIaaS does it. Have you heard of FaaS, function as a service? A lot of other aspects. Similarly, you just think of AIaaS in the same concept. Okay? And what are the other advantages we get? I just summarized that. On-demand AI capabilities, scalability, cost-effective solutions. These three are related. On-demand means you don't need to run your algorithm continuously. You can just, whenever you want, on a need basis, you can start using it, and you don't need to have any in-house resources like infrastructure or anything for that. You just need to call over API. Right? That's where, and the cost-effective. Why it is cost-effective? Because you're not spending any of your money to buy any hardware, much of a software, except that AI-related software. Correct? You don't need to invest much energy. You are not worried. Even if you don't want, you can change the provider if you don't like the provider today. Another thing is access to cutting edge technologies. This is a very important thing to understand. The AI providers are constantly working to improve their models all the time. They have been working day and night, to ensure that the accuracy of the models is really great. That's where now we are seeing the generative AI world, right? You can compare two PDFs if you know whether, if you want to know whether those two PDFs are same. I was asking my team, I know some of my team members are here. I asked one question to them. They were upgrading. We have something called, we generate the PDF using some software today. We are upgrading that software from one version to another version. We had to manually, when we are upgrading, our need is to manually compare each PDF. Oh, what is the old PDF? What is the new PDF? Is the pixel remains the same? Is the image is remaining the same? Is there any quality issues, for example? Now, if I had to do it manually, imagine the amount of effort I'm spending today. 1,000 PDFs I have to compare. And what is the guarantee that a human person will not do mistakes? There are high chances we do mistakes. We may be lazy at how many things I can compare. My eyes will be strained, right? So for that, if you use generative AI today, you just call it API related to that, where you pass both the PDFs in iterative fashion, let it compare, let it see where the mistake is there. If there are any differences out there or not, you will be able to find, you'll just get a report out of that without doing much effort. Is it not saving a lot of time to you? It's saving lots of energy. You're paying some money to make use of the AI, but the results are, the bugs have reduced. If you get a bug, you can fix it, but at the same time, your time, the investment you're making to the manual testing of the PDFs is gone down now, right? This is where, because the cost effective, when I say cutting edge technologies, the way these services are being upgraded, they have been enhancing, and especially with the generative AI, because those models are pre-trained models with a lot of data, a lot of population, their accuracy is far better than when we used to use the actual AI today. That's what I'm trying to say here. And naturally, this is another important piece to understand. Why we need to democratize AIs in the IT industry today. What is democratize? Democracy, right? We're having elections tomorrow, all right? Why its democracy is required? The more and more people are aware of this, the more it is accessible to more and more people naturally. If you know that how open source evolved, right? The reason why, accessible to everyone today. If open source was with only one person, naturally I don't see that we'll not have Android as a successful story today. Similarly, if AIs can be available, and it can be available because it is just accessible over AI. My understanding is so far AI was very tough to crack. The reason is we have to understand a lot inside AI to start using AI. That's why there are AI developers, there are application developers, they are from two different planets, right? So now with this AI, AIaaS, even a normal regular developer or any small business organizations whose time they don't have time to invest in the understanding the AI depth of the AI, like neural networks, deep learning or anything, they can still leverage the AI with a click of just a API call. That's exactly this. This will also help to enhance the skill development. Now you are all gathering here to enhance your skills. Similarly, you all will be able to, through AIS, able to adopt the AI into your works. Naturally, the productivity, the more and more creativity will happen in the IT industry. And what are the key popular AIS offerings here? One is the machine learning, as you are seeing, the machine learning APIs, like, it could be a simple decision making. Is it yes or no, or which color, whatever you say, the basic things, right? Like image recognition, NLP, sentiment analysis. These any developer can integrate into their application easily. Chatbot platforms, as you know, the pre-built dialogue management tools. Imagine a chatbot platforms. If you have to create a chatbot platform, you have to write a lot of complex English, convert that English into something that machine understands. You need to write, if you know a little bit of AI, TD, IDF, what are the tokens, what is that I can ignore cases, a lot of other aspects are there. Now you don't need to do anything. In the chatbot platforms, you just make use of, it will take care of everything for you. So you can focus on writing your business logic. So that is the advantage you get with this. Of course, computer vision services are there, which are like object detection and facial recognition. I'll just run for the next things. So, ways and advantages of integrating the AIs into your enterprise applications today. One of the ways, as you see, you can call the APIs. As you can see, that developers can integrate the pre-trained models, functionalities, NLP, computer vision, speech recognition, anything. For example, you want to convert a text to SQL simply, right? A customer asks in English, he wants some certain report, all right? And then he will just type in English, but a report is generated. What is happening? That English is converted to internally, some English, some SQL probably inside, and you are getting the data directly within a simple application. No need to query anything. No need to go through multiple drop downs anymore. Customization training. Now it's not that we have to restrict to what providers are providing. Now you also apply your data, build a wrapper on top of the current AI models today that are in there in many of the cases. That is another advantage we have. Personalization, naturally based on the user preferences, the dynamic recommendations are possible. And security and compliance is another thing. If you go with the right provider, right vendor, most of the cases they are compliant, like HIPAA compliance, a lot of other data, your PI data, a lot of other aspects as well. So these things you don't need to worry. You don't need to worry because the provider is taking care of that. These are advantages, and this is a very interesting thing. Before I wrap up, now I spoke about general AI, not generative AI, but this is about the specific about the integrating your generative AI as a AIS into your application, right? For example, a person wants to, they have a UI application. What that person wants to do is, they want to build a marketing material on the fly. What a marketing material will have a proper text, some images, some videos as well. Correct? So he just gives the information, then the prompt. He does the prompt engineering. Hey, I need this information. Give the marketing material to me directly. What he can do with the UI after entering whatever the information is required, that his UI will call internally the generative AI models, and it gives the material back to you. Imagine this doing manually. You collecting the videos, you are collecting the images, framing it, putting in the right format. All this is possible. The content generation is possible. Similarly, we have recommendation systems, which you already spoke about. This is an important topic: design and creative design prototyping for rapid development cycle. Now, what are today we are doing lot of POCs, right? When we want to showcase some model in an agile way, we are preparing a POC, going with it to the client, showcasing, is this good? Then he will give a feedback, and then we'll work on behind the scenes to correct it. And after 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, we'll give a new version of that, and then try to get the acceptance from the client or customer. With the generative AI, even the code can be generated dynamically. You can change. You just give the instruction to it what you want. Customer says, I need, instead of my dropdown should be like this. You just give the instruction to generate the code for you. You can deploy the application using this generative AI. Have you heard of Copilot? All right, you might have heard of Copilot. Explore that. I'm not trying to recommend any product. I'm not coming product person. I'm just giving a general theory. Okay, explore Copilot. When I explored myself Copilot in general, I try to see if I can build a small enterprise application with 3 microservices, etc., etc. I wanted some database. I wanted asynchronous communication in some places, synchronous communication in some places. I gave all these instructions. I exactly spoke the English. I asked it, please help me to design this. It gave a very good design to me. I don't need to worry much. It helped me to take the right decision with the design instructions it gave me back. And then with the design instructions, I asked it, now I'm okay with this, I'm finalizing this design, generate the code skeleton, also generate the code for me. It was able to do. And also generates the test cases for you. It also gives the deployment scripts to you. Accuracy, yes, they are evolving. But is it not helping you? It is not giving you a direction for a developer. So what it is helping you is not only just saving the time, but also you're able to focus on a lot of other things, right? So start thinking about this. And of course, NLP is about, we spoke about that, text to SQL and other things. The generative AI is because of the pre-trained model. These are the AIaaS providers. In the interest of, I'm just keeping that. AWS has the general SageMaker, Recognition, Comprehend. These 2 software provide various based on your need basis. And Azure, of course, we have many things, GCP, IBM Watson. So some of the popular providers that are in the industry today. Now, various use cases. I'm not going to read everything, but imagine the improved healthcare, for example, if I take improved diagnostic accuracy, because the diagnosis is happening in such a detailed data where it's already, a lot of data is already trained. Already, you're just applying your data, new data, to get the right diagnosis. Similarly, in all these things, including customer care, customer service, marketing, these are the various. You feel free to take a pick of it. In the interest of time, I will just skip to the last 2 to 3 slides. How do we get started with AIaaS? So what I told so far was why we need AIaaS and how to use it through API calls or SDK. What are the various ways you can integrate that? First, assess your needs there. What exactly you want? What are the business challenges? What data you have today? And what are the technical capabilities that your team has today? And then choose the right AIaaS provider, what kind of expertise they have. And then identify what is a use case that can give a high ROI to you today. And then build a pilot project. And don't try to build a very big thing right away. Then, after you think that pilot is successful, then you can scale that project, and then you can integrate that into your part of your application directly. That's how you can start with the AIaaS today. Various success stories. I know I have less time, but I'll just skip this. But just imagine Netflix recommendation system uses AIaaS, AI-powered recommendations, and they are saving over 1 billion per year today. It may be a little old data, to be honest, but I'm just saying this. Similarly, Spotify, right, music lovers, we all get personalized recommendations. They say, you may like this. You may like this combination of songs based on what you have listened so far. Pinterest, Salesforce, Siemens, all these companies are making big companies are making the best of the AI as a service today. It's not that they built everything on their own, right? So if you see summarize the benefits, the increased revenue, naturally, the reduced cost, customer satisfaction, and increased productivity. I'm just skipping it, but more or less the same thing. And what are the emerging trends today? Increased democratization, because more and more it is accessible. I have heard in Bangalore, many companies today, even small companies, they're able to build enterprise applications within weeks of time. Was it possible earlier? No. It was not so easy to build an enterprise application. You need a lot of code quality checks, a lot of designing is required there. But with this democratization, because it is available to anyone can make use of the AI today, right? And then verticalization. This is a very important topic, verticalization. Now the AIaaS providers are also thinking, hey, if it's a finance domain, they started building the models according to the financial domain. If it is other supply chain, they have started building that. So that verticalization is happening now. And then edge integration and AWS, AIaaS marketplaces, like the way you have Amazon, in AWS you have marketplace, right? We're also going to have this very soon. These are the next things that are going to happen. And what is the potential impact on the software development? I pretty much covered this automated code generation, reducing the development effort and time, and also the debugging and other aspects, and a continuous improvement. And naturally, we focus on our collaboration aspect of it, because we have to work more with stakeholders, collaboration, work with different teams, monitoring, a lot of other aspects are required at work. Some of the challenges we always have to be careful. Security and privacy is the biasness of the model that is coming up. Job, yes, it has some impact on the job, but provided if you can leverage it, I think if you can adopt the AI as a service, then I think we are good with that to a large extent. So I strongly believe that. So question and answer, but I leave that. But my final quote here is, you don't need to be AI guru to start using AI. That's what I'm trying to say here throughout this session. You don't need to master AI. Just understand how AI works at the level that you think is essential for you, and doesn't matter what you are. That's what I'm trying to summarize here.